Greetings, travelers, and welcome to Geronimo Draws. In this episode, I would like to discuss the Colosseum from ancient Rome. After the cruel and divisive reign of Emperor Nero, the Empire of Rome saw its first civil war. It is a period called the Year of the Four Emperors, during which Emperor Galba, Otho, Vitellius, and Vespasian vied for power over the empire. Vespasian ultimately emerged victorious and launched a vast building program to restore Rome, which had been ravaged by a terrible fire during Nero's reign. A grand amphitheater was part of his plan, built over an artificial lake that was originally part of Nero's elaborate estate called the Domus Aurea. Beside the lake was the Colossus of Nero, a towering bronze statue of the former emperor. Vespasian ordered the statue to be remodeled and given a radiant crown, retitling it the Colossus Solis, after the Roman sun god Sol. The name Colossus eventually became associated with the amphitheater. By the year 1000, the Latin name Colosseum had been coined to refer to the amphitheater from the nearby Colossus Solis. The Colosseum, originally called the Flavian Amphitheater, is an engineering wonder, primarily made of concrete perfected by the Romans, and had the capacity for an estimated 50,000 to 80,000 people. Today there are holes visible in the structure. That is not a fault of the Romans. It was later discovered that iron clamps were used to lock the stone blocks in place. When the Romans built, they built to last. They built for eternity. In the medieval period, the metal was removed and melted down for weapons, gates, and then churches. There were several arenas built across the Roman Empire to entertain its people, such as the arena in Verona, which is still used for concerts and events today. The Colosseum, however, remains the largest. Its grand design employs an impressive series of columns, arches, and barrel vaults. It honors the classical designs of ancient Greece with Doric, Ionic, and Corinthian capitals on the structure's exterior. The oval shape and steep seating enabled everyone to see what was happening in the center of the arena. A Roman regiment was stationed outside of the arena practicing drills and were tasked to operate an overhead retractable awning called the velarium to protect spectators from rain or blistering heat. Social status, wealth, and gender determined where people sat. The best seats closest to the arena were reserved for the emperor and senatorial nobility, with netting protecting them from any spears that can be thrown at them. There is also a complex network of chambers and tunnels beneath the arena floor, and this housed props, scenery, and participants when not in action. And the amphitheater's ingenious system of trapdoors, pulleys, and lifts facilitated dramatic entrances for scenery and combatants, even allowing elephants or tigers to appear as if from nowhere. The games were free and would be held 10 to 12 times a year. The attendee would receive a ticket, just like we do today, find their gate and their seat number. In the morning, there would be the animal hunts. Creatures captured from across Rome's empire would be brought into the arena and fight prisoners. Gladiators did not participate in the animal hunts. Rome was all about spectacle, and by bringing a rhinoceros, a tiger, or an elephant into the heart of Rome was a way of demonstrating their power and might to the Roman people. The second event would be the executions. During this time, prisoners who were sentenced to death would be brought into the center of the arena, tied to a pole, and either mauled by starving lions or burned alive. So while Rome kept its citizens entertained and fed, they also took the opportunity to remind them to behave. The third and main event was the gladiatorial combat. Gladiators did not fight to the death. They were prisoners of war from different parts of the world. They would be sent to gladiatorial school, against their will, of course, and trained to entertain the people of Rome. Most of the gladiators died of infection from their wounds. The gladiators would also be sent all across the world to entertain citizens of the empire. It is important to remember that they were still slaves. They did not have any rights in Roman society, but like athletes today, a lot of money was put into their care, training, and travel. They were contractually bound to their managers for 30 to 50 fights. Then they would receive their freedom. Retired gladiators would sometimes be offered a great sum of money by a newly crowned emperor to return to the arena for one more fight. The Colosseum's design is present in all of our modern arenas. In fact, echoes of Rome can be seen and felt across the world. The Colosseum is an amalgam of the empire's many characteristics: its power, its brilliance, and its brutality. Thank you for watching.